I'd like to take this opportunity then to welcome Ms. Mercy to officially open this webinar. Steiny, would you kindly unmute her?
Hi. All right. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, ma.
Hello. All right. Apologies, I don't have my video on. I'm on the road. But good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you're joining from. It's a pleasure being here. And the ISACA Kenya president been serving for the last 1 year, and we've been working with Scratch and Script and the other ISACA chapters who are on the call and on this cohort. We are looking forward to having you gain skills that you'll use and that will be relevant for you in your workspace. In probably you're thinking of a career in cybersecurity or data protection. I think you're at the right place, and it's a good step to go forward. So mine is just to encourage you to ensure that you apply yourself, be present in the trainings. Please ensure that you do your assignments, because at the end of the day, this is a learning experience that you're more or less getting for free. And if it was another institution, probably you'd be paying for these skills. But we thank Scratch and Script for providing the platform. And the chapters for providing the trainers as to be ensure that you're building skills, the right skills, and in data protection and cybersecurity. But over and above that, you get a chance to interact with other participants. You build networks that will ensure that you're able to get opportunities. You may get to hear opportunities from people who you've built relationships throughout this cohort. So wishing you all the best. Also, being that this is ISACA, ISACA, and right now we're currently having an offer across the globe for all your price. So you can check out our website, the www.isaca.org, and get a chance to be able to ensure that you take advantage of that opportunity. You get access to a lot of resources. You get access to your local chapters where you can join in and get involved in various activities and get discounted rates maybe for conferences and the likes. So take advantage of that opportunity. Join your local chapters if you're not our member, and get in touch with your local leaders. I think the details will be shared by the rest of the team. So in closing, I'd just like to thank also the other presidents on the call who have taken the chance to ensure that they were part of this cohort, and if there are any that have also joined us. We looking forward to ensuring that we support our participants, we support the program leads in this program, and looking forward to a successful graduation at the end of this for those of you who will complete the course. So thank you, and wishing you all the best.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Mercy. And as she has said, we declare this webinar officially opened. I would like to take this opportunity and invite the president for ISACA Abuja. He'll take us through, or rather, he'll also invite the other members or rather the other presidents from different chapters that are with us on this call. Yes, welcome, Mr. Emmanuel. You can proceed.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Rose, for this great opportunity. I want to use this opportunity to greet everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us from in the globe. This is a very, very important occasion for us, and I'm super impressed with the organization, with how the younger generation are, steering their career paths by organizing this wonderful cohort project. And it's a pleasure to also appreciate all the ISACA Africa chapter present that made this happen. Despite the short notice, they contributed their resources and make sure that this event is a success. I want to appreciate the ISACA president, ISACA chapter Abuja, ISACA chapter Lagos, ISACA chapter Ibadan, ISACA chapter Port Harcourt, not forgetting ISACA chapter Kampala and Kenya, South Africa, and also Scratch and Script for making this event happen. And I want to appreciate the data, what's it called again? I want to appreciate the Data Privacy and Governance Society of Kenya. Also, we have the Data Protection Commissioner from Zambia, Likando Lua, in our midst. And we have the Deputy Data Commissioner, Mr. Oscar Otino, in our midst. We also have the co-founder, president of Global Network for Cyber Solution. And we have representative from Nigeria Data Protection Commission, Clara Chidera Ikekonwu. He will be joining us later for the hackathon competition. And we also want to appreciate the presence of Honorable Ambassador Shegu Olubile, the co-founder, president of Global Network for Cyber Solution, and everybody that really made this thing happen, the students, the organizing committee. This is a very good opportunity for us to navigate the challenges that is facing data protection in Africa as a whole. So we have a lot to offer. We have a lot to offer today. We have a lot of insight to gain. We have a lot of knowledge a lot of experience to share. So I want to employ us all to engage in this conversation, ask questions. Let's make your point of view be heard, and let's relax and see what we can get out of this beautiful program. Thank you all, and do have a very nice and wonderful evening. Over to you, Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. As he mentioned, we have ISACA South Africa here. Do you have a representative? Maybe they can just say hi. We also have ISACA Kampala. Is there a representative in?
Yes, for ISACA South Africa, we have Mr. Kenneth Paliam.
Mr. Kenneth, you can just say hi to us.
Thank you, Rose. And yeah, I think the president of ISACA Kenya and the president of Abuja said it quite well in terms of the importance of this program. When we started this journey in terms of providing this training, as we all know, there's a skills shortage globally, and it was important for us to collaborate and have an opportunity for the chapters in Africa to provide training, and it's key that this training is provided free of charge in collaboration with scratch and script. So I just want to encourage those people on the call to share the link and have as many people join as possible. I think last year when we introduced the program, we had approximately 400 people graduate at the end. You know, we had courses on cybersecurity as well as data privacy. And today, the launch of the program, the second round, we'll be looking at data privacy specifically. And yeah, a number of key dignitaries on the call to tell us about some of the data privacy legislations in their country. And then more importantly, we'll be hearing from the students in terms of their experiences and the toolkit that they've developed to help us navigate you know, the challenges of data privacy. So thank you once again for including the South Africa chapter. And yeah, we're looking forward to the rest of this evening's events. Thank you, and back to you, Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Kenneth. I would also like to recognize ISACA Uganda, represented by Bernard. Is he on the call? He can just less than a minute, just say hi to us.
Thank you, Rose. Sorry, I don't have the benefit of a good location, but I want to just register my appreciation to Scratch and Script, fellow ISACA chapters, and the partners from the data protection agencies that we are working with. Thank you so much for a successful first cohort, and we shall continue to support and work together to ensure the success of the second cohort. So congratulations to everybody, and I look forward to continuing to support this initiative. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bernard, ISACA Uganda. We also have ISACA Rwanda, represented by Sandra. In absentia, we'd like to acknowledge ISACA Rwanda's presence and their collaboration. We also have the DPGSK, represented by Mr. Philip Kisaka. If you could kindly just say hi to us, less than a minute, we appreciate it.
Right. Thank you very much, Rose. Let me just turn that camera on. Thank you very much for organizing this. My name is Philip Kisaka, as you've been told. I am the Vice Secretary at the Data Privacy and Governance Society of Kenya. We've also been able to participate in the first program by Scratch and Script, and we specifically want to thank Scratch and Script for putting together such a diverse team of professionals, experts, and top industry thought leaders to be able to deliver this program. To the young people in the program who will be going on into the subsequent trainings, we want to encourage you to take good and make good use of this opportunity. As Madam President in Kenya, ISACA Kenya chapter mentioned, that it's a program that is being delivered for free. And so all you need to do is give it your all, give it time. Data protection is still a very new space in the African market, and who knows, you could make your name in the space and probably earn a proper living out of that. So from the Data Privacy and Governance Society of Kenya, we're here. We are grateful for the opportunity to collaborate, and we are ready and willing to continue deploying whatever resources that are at our disposal to assist in taking the program forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Philip. We also have the Scratch and Script team will be represented by General Manager Gibson. If you will also kindly just say hi to us.
Hi, everyone. Thank you all, especially to our participants for the cohort 2 launch. It's really an honor to have every single partner with us in regards to this wonderful training that you are currently want to undertake to Sub-Saharan Africa. I'm really, really grateful to every single student that is going to partake into this program. And I just want to wish you all the best. And let's go ahead and change our African continent so that we can have a name of ourselves out there. So thank you. And I'm really looking forward to the engagement with all of you. Asante sana.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Gibson, and thank you to all our ISACA chapters across East and South Africa and West Africa. Without much further ado, would like to invite our first guest speaker. He's the Data Protection Commissioner for Zambia. He was appointed on the 1st of July 2023. With 20 years experience in the private sector, that is experience in data management, in statistics, and his name is Mr. Likando Luywa. And as we prepare to invite him and have his keynote presentation, I would like us to also remember to do a hashtag on our socials, hashtag Ignite Project Launch, because this particular meeting is a project launch. We want to launch the data protection projects that our students have been working on from the beginning of the year. And without much further ado, we welcome you, Mr. Likando Luywa, to speak to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rose. It's nice to be part of this big team of African professionals in the IT space. I would like to encourage the participants to continue on this journey. It is very important that as Africa, we ensure that we take cognizance of the need to have our data to be at the level that it is supposed to be. What you will note in the world today is that the economies that are performing very, very well, they have a very, very strong correlation to data. The way they manage their data, the way they restrict their data is not comparable to the way we are managing our data as Africa. We are where we are today because we've not paid much attention to the way we manage our data. But the good thing is that we are happy as data protection authorities that we are laying the ground for the young techs like you to come and find a very, very good field where you can thrive using the data that will be more sanitized. On a sad note, it's a pity that as Africa, despite the Malabo Convention having been held in 2014, this is 2024, we only have hardly 50% of the member states with data protection legislation enacted, which again is a bit of a backdrop, because with that kind of numbers, it means that a number of continental strategies will not be able to manage them, will not be able to achieve them. At AU level, AU is looking at creating one big African market, and we cannot achieve an African market if we have less than 40% of the member states with proper data legislation in place. We cannot achieve the digital IDs to be able to talk to each other, countries talk to each other, if some of the countries don't have data legislation in place. So there are many other continental things that we may not be able to do if we don't pay much attention to the data protection legislation and ensure that it is operational in all countries. Today the world is talking about AI. Yes, we can do quite a lot with AI in its current state, but definitely we need a lot of African data as well. Without that, we'll not be able to achieve what we want in totality. I would like to mention that for Zambia, which partially is not partially, it is a member of the network of data protection authorities. Our focus to ensure that we achieve what we want to achieve is we want to understand every entity that is operating in the country and how they are storing the data, how they are using it, how automated they are, because that becomes critical. I don't know about other countries, but for Zambia, one of the biggest challenges is that we have systems around. Some of them are foreign systems. We don't know what systems they are. We have a number of research institutions or research companies. Whatever research they do, we don't know clearly. So it is all those shortcomings that we are focused on ensuring that we straighten up so that we have an environment where we understand exactly how is our data sitting, how is it being used, where is it being stored. Because once we have that, what will eventually happen is that now we'll have a clear picture of where are the deficiencies. We have problems in this area where we still have manual systems running. Are we able to go to our colleagues in Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, and seek support to come and develop these systems? So those are some of the advantages that we shall see as we move along. I also like to mention that in as far as the act is concerned, there are a number of benefits that we foresee as a country, because the moment we now have a clear picture of how is our data protection or data status quo is in the country, then a number of things will now start happening. For instance, let's not forget, data protection assists in the issues of fraud, whether we like it or not, because the weaker policies we have on how we manage data, the more we are prone to fraud. These issues of money laundering, we cannot achieve them in totality or reduce them in totality if we have weaknesses in the data space. So data protection on the other side, and as far as Zambia is concerned, our law allows us to be auditing annually. In the process of auditing, we are also ensuring that the security aspect is enhanced. Ultimately, when that is done, it also means that we have an environment where a lot of these things, such as fraud, money laundering, all effectively reduce. So for us as Zambia, we are glad that we are part of the bigger team, and we just hope that now our strategy going forward is to ensure that as a player, as a member of the network of African data protection authorities, is also to encourage the other members that are not members yet, so that we can all be one Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Likando Ludwa. I like that you also mentioned about the Malibu Convention and how it has taken a bit of time for African countries to onboard the discussions there. We appreciate your input, and we look forward to having mostly Zambia in compliance with the data protection law. Without much further ado, I would like then to invite our next keynote speaker. That will be Mr. Oscar Otieno, the data protection and from the Data Protection Governance Office of Kenya. He's the assistant at ODPC. He's a deputy data commissioner who handles complaints, investigations, and enforcement. He's also handles audits and investigations, and he has done that over 17 years. He has an MBA, and he's a Microsoft certified system engineer, also a certified information system auditor. And I would like him to also give a brief of his presentation to us. Welcome, Mr. Oscar Otieno.
Yes. Thank you very much, Rose, for the introduction. I hope you can all hear me. And okay, great. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, from wherever you're connecting from. Yes, indeed, my name is Oscar from Office of the Data Protection Commission in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm glad to be here with you today just to have a brief talk to our students, the cohort who are joining the Scratch and Script Ignite program. I can tell you as an office, we are really excited to be part of this program. We worked with you in the first journey and in the first cohort. It was really exciting. And I can tell the students that are also joining in the second cohort, it's going to be really exciting. You're going to learn lots of things. I can see from your program, you have lots of things to do with the data privacy. Data privacy currently is really a topical issue that is being discussed globally. And last time I checked in Africa, we had about 36, maybe now about 38 out of the 54 countries or the 53 countries that are recognized by UN, which is really a good thing in terms of percentage. We are talking of close to 70% countries within Africa having either the laws on data protection, or they're having regulations, or they have also put in place data protection authorities in Kenya. I'm happy to have worked even with the immediate former speaker from Zambia, the data protection commissioner from Zambia, in various fronts on data privacy. So there's really lots of opportunities in the data privacy. So I'd really encourage the students coming on board to maybe take this as an opportunity. And as one of the speakers had mentioned, there's lots of meaningful and sustainable lifestyle that you can get out of these data privacy as one of the key things that you can do in life. Secondly, I also saw that within the program, you have a program on cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, indeed, it's a living thing. You can say that it is something that affects all industries. Maybe the most affected industries is the financial services sector, but we can say that for various reasons, like even government institutions, they're really prone to cyber attacks. As Kenya, we were recently, just a couple of months ago, we were attacked by some people outside Kenya who came in and got all our files. Some we have seen as data protection, some reporting data breaches, and if we keenly look at what went, how this data was lost, we find out that some of them have suffered ransomware, and all these are through cyber attacks. So there's a lot of huge space within the cybersecurity that if you build your skills along, then these are the skills that are really being sought for outside here in the market. I've also seen some people coming from where I sit, coming complaining about their information that they were working on in their computer having leaked outside there. And these are information that has their personal information. So for us here, we do have a small laboratory that we can easily do computer forensics to maybe just establish the veracity of these allegations, just to find out what happened. But I can tell you again, in terms of digital forensics, you can also specialize on either computer forensics or mobile forensics, where we've seen people losing personal information. But for any institution to build up a strong case that can be successfully prosecuted before a court of law, you need to prove maybe before the jury that you are competent enough to carry out digital forensics, who you are, what you can do and what you can't do. And you need to describe probably the processes under which you took to get these digital evidences. So digital forensic also is an area that is really being sought for within this market. So it's an area that I would encourage also our participants to be keen on. There is also a programs on blockchain. I saw that, and I must say that again, from where I'm seated, we recently carried out an investigation on a multinational company that was using the blockchain to maybe not really follow the principles of processing data that is prescribed within the Kenyan laws. So skills in these areas like the blockchain is highly sought for skills. You also do offer skills on big data. Currently, you find most organizations bringing big data together. There are various ways and tools of analyzing all this data to make meaningful decisions to businesses. So these are also skills that are really being sought for, and I would really encourage the students to take keen look for. Maybe looking also into the future, the programs that neither Scratch and Script has already put in place or maybe thinking of putting in place are things like the IoT. IoT, I've seen really people using other data subjects data that is available outside there on the internet for to come up with various tools and various programs that are monitoring people which really are not complying with the data privacy of others. So skills in IoT are things that you can really think of. Now everybody's almost talking about cloud computing. You found that skills around that is really very important. So kindly build skills on that. The Zambia Data Commission has talked about artificial intelligence. It is really, we are really now moving away. If you are careful, you realize that we are now moving away from these conversations of data protection, and the topical issue now is becoming artificial intelligence. So you need to, for you to be ahead of the game, this is the right time for you to start building skills around artificial intelligence, just getting to know how those models work, the generative AIs and all this. So these are skills that are there. They're being sought for out in the market. And also skills around the crypto assets. This is one thing that whether we believe it or not, we don't need to play catch up. There are things that are there. Personally, we have experienced also some cases that required us to carry out investigations on crypto assets. So if you really don't have skills in this, it really becomes hard for you to come up to logical conclusions on such cases. So I'd really encourage you also to look into areas along that area. I would want to, I know there are so many areas, but I would want to tell you that as an office, we are keen on working with even students who will graduate from this program. We are keen on giving internship. A job is another thing because this is a government institution. Getting a job in government is a whole procedure for that. But things to do with internship. From where I am seated currently, at any given time, I'm in need of almost about 5 interns who can assist in carrying out the kind of technologies that I'm trying to talk about, the data privacy issues, the cyber security issues. Like recently in Kenya, we found there was a period where people were sharing other data subjects, personal information on the internet. We want to we were thinking of drilling down and finding out the genesis of all this. So you really can't get to the bottom of this if you don't have skills in what I'm talking about, like cybersecurity, digital forensics, and blockchain. So these are things that we are looking out for. We can offer you internship. We want to keep these partnership so that we can be able to also help the students in their career development. As they leave these programs, they'll be able to do 1 or 2 things that can assist them get meaningful lifestyles beyond these. Over and above that, we are setting up, we do have a digital forensic lab that I did help in setting up, but I'm also thinking of setting up a sandbox where we can test various applications before we guarantee them to go out into the market. Our focus may be on data privacy, if these products will be safe in terms of protecting the data subjects, data that they will be processing. So we welcome you. We can have even if you are not working here at 100%, we can have those kind of partnerships where we are always available. You can come, we can have discussions, we can give you some test environments, we can talk about these ideas, we give you industry experience, you tell us what you're thinking about, we give you space and room to develop the various tools, you come and test them, and whenever they're good and mature for the industry, we can always agree on how the same can go out into the market. As government, we are not there for profit making, but we want a situation whereby when you have developed a tool and it goes out there, it has already been looked into by the regulator. And maybe if it is something to do with space, we bring in, it is easier for you when you're working with us to bring in the civil aviation. If it's something to do with telecommunications, it's easier for us to bring in the communications authority so that your tools and your projects and your programs can easily get into the market. So we are really looking out to working with you. We also have various cases, some touching on multinationals that are not maybe probably using the data correctly. We can show you what we do. We can get ideas from you, and we can collaborate in very many other ways. I know I was only given 10 minutes. I would have wished to talk more and more and more, but otherwise I want to end there, and I want to encourage the current cohort to do their best, open up, and come. Let's discuss. Let's see how we can make all these better tools and better this program, the Ignite program. So thank you so much, and over back to you, Rose.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oka, for that wonderful section. It was quite a very, very insightful one. Just a few takeaway. Data protection has gone beyond just our regular data. Now we have data protections, which will require us to gain more skills about blockchain, cybersecurity, big data, IoT, cloud computing, AI, crypto assets, and Web3 chain technology. So let's get our hands on this and let's do well in the industry. So moving on to our second section, we have in the Scratch and Script Ignite Project 1 demo. So to take this, I'm going to be calling forth Miss Brilliant Grant.
Okay, thank you so much, Stanley, for that introduction. And I'd want to thank our first speaker, Mr. Likando, and also Mr. Oscar, for the very good, insightful remarks and very good recommendations that you're going to implement and expand in our second cohort. And also you mentioned about the collaboration. So we really, really appreciate that in terms of just mentoring our young graduates, our young professionals, to ensure that they get the necessary exposure and also the industry expertise to in the required fields that they're trying to venture in. So pass our regards to the commissioner, and we are really, really grateful for your presence in this launch. So actually the main agenda for this session was to launch the two projects, the data protection map, the Africa data protection map, and also the toolkit, and also introduce the NDPC hackathon. So first and foremost, I'd like to thank all our graduates for cohort 1, who are the both from the cybersecurity track and also from the data privacy track. Your efforts have been really, really commendable, and yes, we really want to thank you for successfully completing this project. So today, as I mentioned, we are here to celebrate the launch for the two projects, the Africa Data Protection Map and also the Data Protection Toolkits that our young professionals and our graduates have been working on them tirelessly over the last 4 months. And we are basically here to celebrate their achievements. So just allow me to welcome our 4 young professionals who are going to do the demo. So we have Elsie Dulo and Georgina Giathi, who are advocates of the High Court of Kenya. And we also have Mr. Tolulupe, who is the legal practitioner and also data protection and privacy expert. And finally, we have Leah Molateli, who is the legal tech and innovation specialist. So we are going to start with the first demonstration for the Africa Data Protection Map, okay, we are going to start with the toolkit. And Leah and Tululupi are going to lead us through the demo so that you can just appreciate the work that they've been doing throughout this whole engagement. So Leah and Tululupi, welcome. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for having us. So I will be doing the first portion of the presentation, just recollection of our process in terms of the research, what happened, the purpose of the toolkit, and then my colleague will then carry on the actual demo. Please let me know once you see the screen. Is it visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to our data privacy and toolkit for MSMEs. So for us, we were in a very diverse group with multiple countries across the continent. We collaborated a lot, which is great. I mean, it teaches professionals how to work in a group, in a diverse group. There was about 22 of us. And then we split into 4 teams. So one team was focused on the research side, one on the case study and the development, another on compliance. And then the last one was on the scoring. We had weekly meetings, regular meetings to discuss, and then we shared our findings. In terms of our research methodologies, we utilized diverse sources, predominantly online, more specifically relating to our different regulators. That was very helpful. And then we also did a comparative analysis, not only from regionally or from our different areas in terms of African continents, but globally too. Some of the challenges we faced was language barriers, for example, legislation and some research from Francophone African countries, and then just managing our team to ensure that everything is coordinated. We'll appreciate the small nuances, and this happens obviously in the professional settings in terms of timing and just getting the time zones right and so forth. But I think we did very, very good, as you'll see later in the demo. The purpose of the toolkit, which we thought was really important, was to help organizations ensure that they're actually compliant. And we wanted to find a way that was centralized across the board, incorporating, because of our research, it incorporates a lot of elements from across the continent, which was important for us just to have a centralized point of view that anyone could actually just go to the specific platform and assess whether they're actually within the framework or not. The scope of this, anyone who uses the platform will be able to assess the type of information that they're using in terms of commercial purposes. They'll be able to understand the type of data that they're inputting for purposes of business operations. They'll also be able to get their security score and privacy score, which is quite important because obviously you can't fix what you don't know or what you haven't even digitized. And that's why I think this toolkit will be extremely helpful to organizations or actually any professional who's trying to assist a client. And then one key component of this was also just from a risk management perspective for the organizations. Why we think this is important, one, because regulations are constantly changing, they're evolving, especially now. Earlier mentioned the increase of artificial intelligence. That obviously in itself has a lot of implications specifically in this particular area. And obviously we're becoming a bit more digitized just from a digitization perspective, not only in Africa, but globally in terms of trends-wise. So that particular concern just raises a privacy issue for us. And we thought that this particular toolkit would be important to address that. And obviously industry trends, we see it everywhere. And if we want to compete, particularly as Africans, if we want to compete with global markets, then we need to get on par. Then just from an organizational level, if we're talking from a micro perspective, it is good for business. And I think it will enhance just the ability to build trust between businesses as they navigate or transact between each other. And then obviously just from a risk management perspective, And anyone who's in business also appreciates the importance of having some form of competitive advantage in terms of the type of data and insights that they'll get through using this tool. And like I said previously on, quite important just from a technological advancement perspective. The biggest issue I've always noticed just in Africa across the board is not necessarily that we don't have data. It's just that it's not digitized. And so this project is quite important just from a centralizing all of that and ensuring, because you can't really try to advance technology if we haven't started with the foundations of actually digitizing it. And so this tool, it's slick, it's easy to use just from a user perspective. And Tulu will show you some more.
Okay, okay. Please kindly confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. So, this is the toolkit that we have, let me use the word, been privileged to work on. And of course, I'd registered and also logged in for the sake of the presentation. So let me just do that now. And on logging in, it takes you directly first to the dashboard. So the essence of this is just to help organizations to comply, so that they can quickly comply and make use of or comply with the data protection laws of various countries. As said by Leah, we had to compare the laws from different countries and even the GDPR in the UK as well, and then come up with something comprehensive that we feel could serve various fields and various other uses as well. So we have the template download, which includes, as of now, the DPIA template. We have the audit questionnaire, quite a number of regulators. In fact, virtually all regulators would require audit from data controllers and data processors. You are required to audit your processes and to be sure that you are in compliance with the law. So this has a number of questions, about 37 here, that would help you show the state of compliance and also help you show in the gap analysis to show what is missing and what needs to be put in place. Of course, risk profile. Your risk profile goes to show the risk score, to show, having done your either the audit or your DPIA, usually you are required as well to show the risk score for you to know whether you have to amend your processes or not. So we during research came up with a risk metric, which was also incorporated by the team. Also, we have ES security questions. Oh, the link, I'm sure the team would share the link with everyone. So we can also go through the project later. So the security questions for you to assess the security of processing and also to ensure that you are doing what is right with people's personal data that is in your custody, because you have the duty over it, you have the responsibility, you have the duty of accountability, and you also have quite a number of responsibilities that are placed on you, particularly in terms of putting in place technical and organizational measures for security. So we have the security questions to help you ensure that you are also in compliance with that. And finally, we have the research team. The research team lists the members of the Ignite Cohort 1 that worked on various projects so this is the team that worked on different toolkits, because we have about toolkits, about 3 or 4 toolkits that we worked on: the privacy policy, privacy notices, the PIA template, as well as the video project as well. So this is just a very brief rundown and overview of the project, and sure that the team would share the link later so everyone could go through it. Thank you very much for your time.
Great. Thank you so much to Lulupe and Leah for that wonderful presentation. So as he has mentioned, we are going to share the link with you in the chat section so that you can just have a look and also appreciate the tireless efforts that our graduates have been working on the last 4 months. So thank you so much, Tolu, and also Leah. Our next presenters, we have Elsie Dulo and Georgina Giathi.
Thank you, brilliant. Hi all, my name is Elsie Dulo, an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I'll allow Georgina to also introduce herself.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from where you're watching this. I'm Georgina Giathi, a fellow advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Elsie, you may proceed.
Okay, so Georgina and I were part and parcel of the Africa Data Protection Map project. So together we came up with this presentation on behalf of the entire team. It was a team of around 50 people. So I will proceed to present my screen. Hope you can see my screen. Yes, so approximately 50 people were involved in the research for this project, that is in the gathering of the data that was used to come up with the map. The desk research methodology was employed. That is, we gathered information from various texts, websites, articles, online journals. One of the key challenges that we faced as the researchers, one was interpretation of legislation from Francophone countries, that is countries like Mali, where we were unable to get legislation that was already interpreted in English. So now we had to employ the use of a tool known as the new OCR tool to interpret the PDF texts, the PDF legislations into text, and then now we interpret the text. Then the other key challenge that we faced as the researchers was getting materials for some countries. For example, a country like Cameroon, it was very difficult to get the material with information on their data protection regimes, and also the Northern African countries. I'll proceed to the next slide. The device seems to be hanging. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Yes, so here's an introduction of the Africa Data Protection Map. The Africa Data Protection Map is basically a digital tool of a diagrammatic representation of African states with data protection regimes. We shall give an overview of the map. You will get a better understanding of what the Africa Data Protection Map is. And the map gives a comprehensive guidance of the data protection regimes in various African states. Yeah, and it does not just focus on whether the states have data protection laws. It also goes into the details of whether there's the existence of a data protection authority, the data subject rights recognized by the various legislations in various states, the consequences of breach, and how processing of sensitive personal data, and yeah, best practices across the various states. So Georgina will take over from me.
Thank you, Elsie. So we, during our research, we also looked at, or rather we looked at the need for this particular project research on why this is why this should be done and whom it's beneficial to. So the reasons for carrying out this particular research was for ease of access of information. As we'll present later on from the website, you'll get to see how a layout of data protection laws and regulations in different countries in Africa, and even carry out comparative analysis if you so wish. It will also be good use for stakeholders in quick references as well as policymakers. Since policy making or having privacy notices is one of the key areas of compliance with the data protection laws, as well as in the recent concluded NADPA conference, a great issue was highlighted amongst authorities in different data protection authorities across Africa on issue on data flows, data sovereignty, and how to go about cross-border data transfers. So this particular mapping is very important for key stakeholders in that regard, in knowing, in understanding how to promote data sovereignty within their state, and at the same time, facilitate economic activities, including trade, even with key players in the Africa Free Continental Trade Area, AFCFTA. So there are a good number of gaps also identified throughout our research, one of which is that a good number of the African data protection laws were modeled straight from the current GDPR. And this we found would be a challenge in as far as the domestication of the same, since it has to, the domestication of these regulations has to be contextualized in each country, depending on the demographic in that country, as well as the other issue we came across was more of administrative on independence of the data protection authorities for the countries in Africa that have established one. Next slide.
So next we shall present the Africa Data Protection Map. Just a minute.
Do you need assistance?
I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, you can.
Yes, so this is the Africa Data Protection Map. As you can see, here is the diagrammatic representation of the countries in the African states, the African continent, countries with the data protection legislations. So as you hover around the different countries, you're able to tell whether they have data protection laws, and there's brief information on the authority and even the penalties for breach of the data protection regulations. So for example, for Kenya, you can see we have the Data Protection Act of 2019. Our authority is the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, and the penalty is a fine of 5 million. When you scroll down to South Africa, you see that there's the POPIA Act of 2013. The authority is the information regulator, and the penalty is around 10 million rand. And then Nigeria Data Protection Act 2023. There's an authority. The authority is the Nigerian Data Protection Commission, and the penalty is 10 million naira. So this is one of the ways. And when you click onto a country, you're able to even get detailed information on the specific country. Let me click on Uganda, for example. So let's come to Uganda. When you click on Uganda, you get more information on the Ugandan Data Protection Law, information on principles. You need information on data transfer. You simply just click on and you get information on data transfer, data security. If they have the data protection regime has provisions on the left electronic marketing, you'll also click onto the map and get some information, or even on information on registration. The other way in which you can use the map, you can use the map to also compare the data protection regimes from country to country. We can, for example, compare Kenya. So we can compare Kenya. Let's choose Nigeria. So we are able to compare the laws. So we can tell that both Kenya and Nigeria have data protection laws. We can also come on the legal basis based on the different legislations. You can see the legal basis for processing personal data in Kenya versus the lawful basis for processing personal data in Nigeria. So we can also use the map for comparison purposes. This is useful and particularly comes in handy when it comes to compliance with the cross-border provisions of the various data protection laws that require, for example, in Kenya, it is required that one data controller or a processor must demonstrate to the data protection commissioner that the other country where the data is supposed to be transferred to has adequate safeguards for data protection. So one can easily just come to the map and hover around the map and get the necessary information. So we are still in the process of developing the map. We are still in the process of adding more information for other countries, and I believe the next cohort will take part in completing the project. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Elsie and Georgina, for that wonderful presentation. As we've shared in the comment section, we have shared the links to the toolkit that has been presented here. So in your free time, you can just have a look at the toolkit and enjoy the work that the students have done. The next cohort will still be working on filling up the toolkit to make sure that it covers the entire of Africa as we anticipate. So you can also be on the lookout for that. As I also hand over to Stanley, I would like to recognize a few people. I can see Ile from Botswana is here with us. We recognize your presence. Thank you for making time to join us. We also have Michael Ravas from Namibia. Thank you. In Kenya, we say Karibu Sana, which is welcome. Welcome to these discussions. We also have Max Manzi joining us from Uganda. Thank you for making time to join us. Also, the trainers that were part of this program, I can see Victor. Victor is here with us. Thank you for making time to join us. We also have one of our friends and partners of Scratch and Script. We have Walter Umbiro, Karibu Sana. And also some of our students that graduated in the previous cohort are here. We appreciate your presence, and I would like to hand this over then to Stanley to just take over the next session. Thank you, we appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Rose. Thank you so much, Scratch and Script. Indeed, the Ignite project one was a success. From the graduate presentation, it can tell us more about how Scratch and Script Ignite is more particular about developing the younger generation, equipping them with the right data protection skills needed, and making sure these skills are not just gotten, but also put in place to create a better change in the sub-Saharan African and the nation at large. So moving forward, we'll have a few testimonials from some of the graduates from the cohort one. I'm just going to share my screen now to have their names projected. Okay, Ramat Oyedeji. Ramat Oyedeji, are you here? Okay, Kiona Ezekiel.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I can go ahead with my own testimonial,
Yes,
right?
you can.
Okay.
Please, can you turn on your camera so we can see you?
Okay, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Okay,
So please, you can go ahead.
okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Ezekiel, and I participated in post 1 under data protection, and the knowledge I got from this the program helped me to start my own career path as the data protection officer in the organization. Also, I've helped a lot out with the compliance measures, particularly those that helped in adapting the data protection impact assessment templates. And I've been able to replicate that process for 2 other organizations. So this whole program gave me an edge, not just my own country, but in Africa, because most of the courses and training were channeled around African law. So that really gave me a difference in terms of experience and practice. I'm very, very grateful for this program. I'm grateful to the mentors and mentors that we had. We were all what I expected. So I'm very grateful to ISACA and staff as well. Thank you.
Right, thank you so much, Kiona. Onyinyechi, are you present?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so prior to the Scratch and Script data protection internship, I had a desire to actually understand data protection, and I joined several webinars, several programs, read several courses, and most times they usually just pick a subject matter and they hit on it from the middle to the middle. And no one was actually looking at the point of taking you from the foundation all the way up. But joining, in fact, that was why when I saw the advert for the Scratch and Script internship, I knew it was definitely going to be the answer to the questions I was having. And really, it was from the week 1 where we were introduced to data protection as a whole, to week 2 where we understood the principles, and then rights of data subjects, and then legal basis for processing. And then to cap it off, we had the week where Philip took us on conducting data protection impact assessment. This was something that most study materials made so cumbersome to understand. Philip was able to break it down so well that we all left the session fully enlightened. And then finally, we had Dr. Mugambi, who came in to show us how to actually have an entire data protection program. So at the end of the day, we're working out of the program, not just with the weekly meetings, but then the weekly assignments too were very challenging. So you had to actually meet up with intensive coursework to be able to submit your assignments by the deadline. It was intensive all the way, but then it was very rewarding because by the time you conduct personal research to carry out your assignment, it helps to actually broaden your scope and understanding of each subject matter. The trainers were also very keen and detailed in their presentation. They were not just talking to us. They gave us the opportunity to actually carry out live application of the subjects of the topic for each week. And so during the classes, we are asked a question to actually be able to apply the principles that were being taught. And that made it very relatable in so many ways. Then when they got to the project, it was tougher because we were dealing with multiple nations at the same time. I personally was in the data mapping projects, and it made me understand beyond the policies or the laws of my own home country, I understood the laws of several African countries. Thank you, Scratch and Script. Thank you, ISACA, for making all the time to actually equip us. And it's been wonderful being able to use the principles beyond the internship. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Onyinye. That was very, very insightful. I can tell you, everyone on the call, course 2 is going to be much, much bigger and better. So you don't want to miss it. Registration is still open to, I think, next week. So the link will be shared in the chat box. Do register and get on board. So without more ado, we'll be moving next on the program. Oh, okay. So a poll quiz has been shared now. So you could just take your time and give in your answer. The poll will close at the end of the meeting. So moving next, we'll be going to the Code for Privacy Hackathon. Presentation, Code for Privacy Hackathon presentation. I'm going to be having the ISACA Ibadan president, I beg your pardon, take this to the next phase. So please, with your emoji ovation, please help me make welcome the president of ISACA Ibadan chapter, Mr. Ayokunle Omonijo.
Moderator, Data Protection Commissioner Zambia. I just wanted to mention how excited I am to see what I've seen so far. I would like to encourage our young professionals to continue doing that. What I've seen is even the projects are real African. They are answering some of the questions that we have as authorities. These are kits that we need if we are to develop data protection sphere in Africa. And I'm very excited, and please keep it up.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So any question or comments before we move on to the Code for Privacy Hackathon? Okay, I think we have none. Thank you so much, the Data Protection Commissioner for Zambia, for that. It really tells us that as a young professional, data protection and data privacy is a core for us all because it is with our data. And we have to take this very, very critical. Mr. Ayokole, sir. Okay, I think Mr. Ayokule is not here. I'll just
Okay, I'm here. Good
Right,
good afternoon. Good evening, whichever part of Africa you are joining us from. We are happy to have you. I'll just briefly go through our next moderator, whom presenters short bio. Chidera Okonkwo, Ike Okonkwo, began her career as a legal practitioner in the private sector and now works as a data protection and privacy specialist at the Data Protection Regulator in Nigeria, where she heads the research, development, and innovations department. Her interest in data protection and privacy began in 2018 while she was studying for her master's degree in compliance and cross-cultural business practices at the University of Freiburg, Switzerland. The General Data Protection regulation had just come into force then, and this becomes the basis for her to make a decision to carve out a niche in privacy and data protection. She has had the privilege of working on the draft Nigerian Data Protection Bill 2023, which was signed then, serving as a member of the Strategic Bureau and speaking at international and national events on data protection, privacy, and digitizations. She offers capacity development and compliance advisory for data controllers and processors of major significance, as well as SMEs and startups. Considering that data protection and privacy are still in their infancy in Nigeria, she's an enthusiast about all and any opportunity to create awareness, build capacity, and contribute meaningfully to the ecosystem. Join me to welcome Chidera Ike Okonkwo. Thank you. Over to you, Stanley and Chidera.
Thank you so much, sir. Ms. Chidera, over to you, ma.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction. It's a pleasure to be here this, well, it's evening at my time, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. We just start by giving a quick presentation on the maiden edition of the Code for Privacy Hackathon that took place in January of 2024. And so the maiden edition of the Code for Privacy Hackathon was organized by myself together with members of the Knowledge Sharing Subcommittee of the 2024 Privacy Week Local Organizing Committee. A quick background of Privacy Week. So I'm sure everyone knows about the Global Privacy Day, which is celebrated every year. But at the Nigeria Data Protection Commission, we celebrate the Privacy Day for an entire week. And during the week, we have lots of activities that we engage in. And this year, one of the activities was the Code for Privacy Hackathon, the very first that we've had at the Commission. So the idea of the Code for Privacy Hackathon was to encourage tertiary institution students to engage in critical thinking, right, to also participate in the competition. We were very specific about encouraging female participation. And so one of the rules for application was that every team who was applying for the hackathon needed to have at least one female member. During the hackathon, we had webinars on data protection and privacy, and we also extended the webinars to topics on ISMS, as well as project management and business development. And so we started the online application on the 30th of December, 2023, and we closed on January 6, 2024. All the stages of the hackathon were hosted virtually until the 2nd of February, when we invited the top 3 teams to Abuja, Nigeria, at the Innovate Tech Hub to attend the expo. And so during that expo, the top 3 teams, who are Team Privanon from the University of Ibadan in Nigeria, Team Cognito from NAL University, Abuja, and Team Light from the University of Abuja. They came to Abuja and they presented their solutions to a panel of judges. Let me mention at this point that we received application from over 100 teams, and 40 teams were shortlisted in adherence to the terms and conditions for the hackathon. Our judges were drawn from the public sector, from academia, as well as private sector. At this point in time, I would like to recognize some of our sponsors, chief of who was ISACA Abuja chapter. We also got sponsorship from Access Bank, from law firms such as Bangwa Nigodalo, Stren and Bland Partners, Unitella, Switch Solutions, BI Technologies, and the Association of Licensed Data Protection Compliance Organizations of Nigeria. The event received very wide media coverage from various media houses, and there were interviews conducted not only for the top 3 teams, but also for the organizers of the event. We had some challenges during the Code for Privacy hackathon. But I want to say at this point in time that we were able to surmount some of those challenges, you know, thanks to the tireless efforts of our sponsors and our partners. And, you know, just giving credit also to the amount of time and resources it took to plan this hackathon. I have a note here to mention some recommendations for the next Code for Privacy hackathon, which we hope to have in January of 2025. And I'm saying this because I'm speaking to a diverse group of audience from around the country, and I've also noted some new stakeholders that I have not met, you know, before today. And so I think it's important that we have increased promotion and awareness. Last year, we made use of the Nigeria Data Protection Commission's website. We launched a Privacy Week website specifically for Privacy Week events. We made use of the Commission's Instagram and Twitter handles. This year, we would love to partner with new stakeholders who can also utilize their various channels, including social media, to reach a broader audience. The next thing I would recommend is diverse sponsorship. Last year, or rather this year, we were able to get quite a number of sponsors, I think 8 in total. And the cash prizes that were received, you know, during this Code for Privacy hackathon was quite significant. We also were able to cut down on costs because we had to host most of the events virtually. But we also incurred some costs for flights, accommodation, you know, for the participants. So we are hoping to have even more participants in next year. And perhaps most of them will be coming from outside of Abuja. So we will definitely be relying on, you know, a diverse pool of sponsorship to make it bigger and better. I've also recommended an enhanced monitoring, mentoring structure, I beg your pardon. So during the 2024 Code for Privacy hackathon, we had over 20 mentors for the participants. These mentors were drawn again from private sector, public sector, and academia. We also had some representations from non-governmental organizations and civil society organizations. With the pool of talents that we have on this call, I'm hoping that we can draw from members of the network of African data protection authorities to have more mentors who are more specialized in not only issues of data protection and privacy, but even issues of cybersecurity. And I also recommended that there should be expanded post-event engagement, such as what we're having right now. I think that it's very important to extend engagements for such events, even after the event has occurred. This provides a platform for continuous interaction, knowledge sharing, and collaboration among partners, mentors, and organizers. In the future, this could include forums, networking events such as this, inclusion of online communities, as well as internships, which one of the speakers from today mentioned. And so this is a summary of the reports of the Code for Privacy Hackathon for 2024 that was organized by the Nigeria Data Protection Commission. I believe we may be hearing from some of the participants, especially the top 3 teams who I believe are on this call, who can maybe share a little bit about, the impact of the hackathon, not only on their academics, but in their lives in general, as well as the general experience, of even traveling to Abuja for the first time, because the team who won the Code for Privacy Hackathon, that is Team Privanon, got the opportunity to visit Abuja for the first time. And I believe that, it was a positive experience for them and one that they will not forget in a hurry. So thank you all so much for your audience.
Thank you so much, Ma, for that insightful section. So having presentation from the hackathon winners. In no order, I'm going to call in Team Privanon.
Hello. Good evening. Hello. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good evening.
Okay, thank you very much. So my name is Ali Adeyasimi. Will I be allowed to share my screen for my slide presentation? I can just go on.
Yes, please, you can. Okay, before Team Privalon share their screen, I just want to use this opportunity to appreciate our assessors in the house who will be helping us to assess the hackathon presentation and sending in their remarks and reports to the chapter email. So just a special shout out to you all from the ISACA Abuja president and chapter to you. Thank you very much.
I think because somebody is still sharing their screen, I'm unable to share.
Okay, I think Team Privalon is still setting up. Can we have Team Cognito? So Team Cognito from NA University. Good evening.
Good evening. This is Team Cognito. Am I being heard, please?
Yes, we can hear you, Team Cognito. You can go ahead.
Okay, am I to share my screen?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Please, can you see my screen? Please, can we see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. We can.
Okay, thank you. So imagine a world where your personal data is always safe, where developers can easily build privacy-first applications, and where organizations have full control over their data security from day one. Good day, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Claire Omwa Irwanga, and I'm thrilled to introduce to you Cognito, a groundbreaking platform that is designed to make the world with data privacy possible. So as Team Cognito, we recognize three key challenges. The first challenge is the lack of integrated data privacy measures from on the onset of development. So we came to realize that developers often struggle to introduce strong data privacy rules right at the beginning of the project development. Then the second challenge we then realized is that little to no system for consistent checklist on data privacy. What do we mean? So some organizations sometimes struggle to keep up with having to integrate data privacy into their projects. So, and these ones, they lack checklists for those, for such of their products. So that's one of the challenges that we realized. Then the third challenge is the lack of actionable insights for data privacy. So we also noticed that many organizations find it hard to get clear and useful information about their data security and their compliance. Now, how were we able to solve these challenges? We came up with three different solutions. So the first solution is a privacy enhancing plugin API. So we're able to offer a plugin API that will fit smoothly into development workflows, making it easy for developers to add strong data privacy measures from the start. So how this plugin is to work is that whenever a person, for instance, inputs information such as their BVN into your platform, it will encrypt that data. Once that data is encrypted, it will now store the encrypted data in that system so that from the start, so that later rather, you not have to worry about, oh, we created a platform, the people's data that are being inserted into our platform is not secure. So we will help you encrypt that data, and you as a developer, you have that encrypted key. That's the first solution. Then the next is now a privacy impact assessment and analysis tool, what we call a PIA tool. So how this is going to work is that organizations would have a web-based checklist tool, and this tool will be in harmony with the NCDC's requirements. So whatever the organization has to do would tally in our checklist based on the organization's requirements. While our last solution to the problem that we identified is a data-driven decision approach. So we would use data from users' interactions to keep improving our platform, making sure that it stays up to date with real-world needs. So our target markets are two broad audiences. First is our developers and our organizations. So as for developers, these are those that obviously are the ones that develop the platform. And the next is the organizations. Those are the businesses, enterprises, institutions that handle sensitive data such as BVN, their account details, and other sensitive data that these organizations may be dealing with. Then next is our market validation, the opportunities and strengths. So we came to realize that 80% of people were worried about not having enough tools for ethical data practices, and marketing trends show a growing need for platforms such as Cognito. And our opportunity and strengths includes growing need for data privacy, meeting the different needs, and using technology, that's the technology that we're offering to organizations and developers to help with such needs that they'll have. Next is on to our product description. So how our product looks is that on the user interface, there are two aspects. One is the PIA checklist, and the next is the API plugin. So as a developer, obviously you will go or you will lean towards the API plugin to integrate with your platform. You just select it and it would directly integrate it with whatever you are developing. For instance, an e-commerce site, a financial site, or whatever platform that you're developing. Then the next is now the PIA assessment tool, which is our web-based checklist. So whatever project that you are working on, you would fill in that checklist, and we will then evaluate your performance. If your score is good, then you can then see that, oh, the data and the project that you're working on is secured and you can move on. Next is our development traction for our stages. First is our research stage. So we'll be understanding the challenges and studying global data privacy laws, including the ones in Nigeria, since we live here. The next is our checklist integration. Next is our plugin design and development, which we have already done. Fourth is our web development, that's building the web tool. And lastly is our testing and optimizing such tool. In order to monetize whatever we are building, because you cannot just build something or you cannot just start something without having to think about, oh, can we make profits out of this? We have come up with different strategies. One is our freemium model. So in this our freemium model, users will have basic access or free access to all the essential features. Then our premium features will now be subscription based for advanced tools, which could be our API plugin. If you want to get more advanced features for that, you have to pay for the premium model. The next is enterprise licensing. There'll be tailored packages for large enterprises with scalable pricing. The next is our training and consultation service. So we hopefully want to train people on the basics of data privacy, be it you're an organization or whether you're a developer, for how you can integrate the plugin into whatever you are developing. So we would want to collect money from such training and consultation services. Next is our marketing and sales strategy.
Sorry, Team
So,
Cognito. You have 1 minute more.
okay, thank you. Then as for our sales strategy, we'll be targeting developers and organizations, clear branding, content marketing, competitive advantage, content marketing and sales approach. Then for our competitive advantage, we'll be combining useful tools, and our solutions are practical and easy to use, and it is also user-centric, meaning that we want to target the user. So whatever the users need, we'll integrate it in us and we'll continuous feedback, because it is for the users and not for us. Then lastly is our ask. So we are asking for a sum of 5 million naira for development, research, operation, and marketing. And this is the team. So thank you for your time. And this is Cognito.
Wow, nice one, Team Cognito from University of Nigeria. I believe our assessors have seen your demo well as the public, and we'll get back to you. Team Privana, are you ready for your presentation now?
I want to share my screen from my tab, but I'm unable to share my screen. I don't know why. I can't find the button to share my screen from my phone.
Okay, I'll just give you 5 more minutes to get a solution to that. Team Lights, can we have you now? Team Lights from the University of Abuja.
Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Can you all hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I'll just share my screen now.
All right, please remember you have 5 minutes, and your time start counting from now.
Can you all see my screen?
No, we can't.
I'm sharing the screen already. Please, is it showing there?
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Okay, I'm coming. Oh, I'm sharing my screen, please. Is it showing over there?
Yes, we can see your screen now.
Okay. My name is Angianti Cynthia Endurance from Team Light, University of Abuja. So during the hackathon presentation, my team and I developed a website which we named Light File Management Software. Light File Management Software was designed with the aim of reducing data privacy violations like leaked data, poor backup system, data breaches due to unauthorized physical access. So the aim of Light File Management System software is to aid the visual transfer of files from one office to another. So this file management software is to replace the traditional means of transferring files. Like for example, if an information is supposed to pass from one person to another, in the traditional movement of files, it can be photocopied, and in the process of photocopying it might get to an unauthorized user might access it, and this will lead to a security risk. But with the use of light file management software, the visual movement of file keeps the data secured within the secured environment which is needed. So this is the description. The software application helps to organize, arrange, download, backup, and store data, digital files efficiently. Our software acts as a central repository for all files with easy access to share and use. Our software also notifies its user on important information about their files. So here are the features of our files, of our management software. It has a place where for security and monitoring, for backup and encryption, for delete, for upload, for secure, admin panel, secure storage, news and announcements, notification, download, privacy education, and others. The focus of Light File Management is on data privacy. Its unique features like the access control, which gives access to only the authorized users to have access to the files that are being uploaded. Our target market here is places like library, supermarket, post office, and hospitals. Like in the hospitals, for example, instead of transferring test results physically or from one office to another, with the use of light file management software, the files can be visually transferred from one person to another, and only the authorized users can have access to them. Now, our marketing strategies will be done through free
Sorry,
demonstration.
Team Light. Hello.
I can hear you.
Okay. You have used up your 5 minutes, so I'm just going to give you 1 minute to round up your presentation.
So here are the marketing strategies that we aim to bring our file management software to the world. Through free demonstrations, I will be giving opportunities to people to use the software for free so they can see the features we have on our software. We will be creating compelling content on social media platforms, and we will be partnering with other businesses. So here are our challenges and risk mitigation: user education, data breaches, loss of data, change in customer need, economic downturn, and competition. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Light. Team Privanon, are you good now? Okay, I think they are not. With that,
Hello, sir. I've shared my slide with sorry sir, sorry for interrupting sir. I've shared my slide with someone who can share for me on the call, sir.
Okay, as your slide is coming up, I'm just going to give you 2 minutes to just give a summary of your project because of our time. So just use the next 2 minutes to give us a summary of your project and get your slide up from here.
Okay, sir. So thank you very much, sir. Good evening, everyone. My name
Sorry, we can't hear you any longer, Hallelujah.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much. So, as a, I'm talking about our project. Our project is called Chain Votes, and the aim of Chain Votes is to strengthen democracy, what one identity at a time. We want to secure the identity of voters while exercising their franchise so that both their identity and their votes can count. In Nigeria today, our voting system is riddled with a lot of inconsistencies, and this does not just start from the electoral process, but right from the process where the identities of people are being collected. We do have to go out, register for a permanent voters card, and in this process, they are going to collect a lot of personal information, and this information are going to be pasted publicly. So anybody can just come and look at my information and use it for whatever they want. So, and another thing about the electoral system is that this voters card that carry sensitive information can just be taken by anyone and can be used. So if one's voters card gets missing, then that person is probably in trouble, because next thing you might see is that you have like 6 accounts, you borrowed like 10 loans from different places. And apart from that, in the electoral system, our ballot system is easily riddled with inconsistency. For example, you can vote now, you can't be sure that your vote will count, because in the end it can be stolen, your votes can be stolen. The electoral commission can count it wrongly. A lot of things can happen in that system. So what is our solution at Chain Vote? So our solution is based on 3 principles. The last slide, please. I mean the slide before that. No problem. So our solution is based off like 3 principles. That's like privacy of identity, privacy of the voting process, and then ease of usage. So how do we aim to achieve this? We aim to achieve this by building our system on a blockchain. On the blockchain. So one principle of blockchain is openness and transparency. So it means that everything that goes under the blockchain is permanent, and anyone can come and verify that easily. So if I say that this person won, let's say 500 people voted for a particular person, you can know that okay, it is 500 people who voted for this person, and everyone on the chain can verify that. So it takes away the element of centralization that makes it easy to falsify reports, to misuse people's data, and so on, and brings in that transparency into the voting process. Now, about the identity part of the issue, where the problem starts from, we are using what is called decentralized identities. So decentralized identities are identities for the people, by the people, just identities that people can use for themselves. It is out of control of any centralized authority. This is something beyond the step of Google OAuth. So Google authentication helps you, like Google authentication, your identity is with Google, but they allow you to use it. But we are using a decentralized identity in which the identity is for you. You decide what to do with your identity. Without you, nobody can use your identity. Nobody can use whatever you own. So right from that point, we solve the problem of the identity crisis. Then the blockchain-based voting system is going to make it easy for people to be able to vote, to be able to have transparent votes. So by voting on the blockchain, you can take away the element of, oh, how am I sure that my vote will count? How am I sure that this result is actually what it is? Because it is just going to be whatever anyone votes is going to be what will be on the blockchain. Now, one thing that also brings in is the issue of is the issue of privacy. Because if I vote now, let's say I vote from my own address, somebody else can see that and say, oh, I know, okay, you voted for this person, I can come and trail you, and probably, let's say I say I'm going to vote for A and I voted for B, my secret has been leaked. Anybody can trace me and try and take me down or something. So that's where we are using our zero knowledge to secure the voting results, such that anyone who votes, we can verify that this is what you voted for, this is who you voted for, without revealing your secret, without revealing your vote. So in short, in all our system, we are bringing in this privacy by design, in which privacy is built into every stage of our design. Into every stage of our design.
Okay, Mr.
Next slide.
Hallelujah. Thank you so much. We
Yeah.
are actually running out of time. That was a very nice presentation. We are going to continue this conversation on our social media handle. We have our assessors here. If they need more clarifications, they are going to reach out to you. Just like Chidera, the rep from Nigeria Data Protection Commission said, this is more like expanded post-event engagement. So the engagement is going to continue. It's going to be a continuous process until the next competition. Thank you so much. Just to let you know, Team Congenite, right? They are the winner of the Code for Hackathon. That's from University of Abuja. And good enough, we have the ISACA Ibadan president here in our midst. He was the one that introduced the organizer of the event. We also have Team Light from University of Nile and also Team Pavilion from University of Abuja. So from this, you can see that these are students, these are Nigerians, these are young undergraduates who are already creating a niche for themselves. Just like the commissioner for the Data Privacy Commissioner from Zambia said, Africa is going to be a big market, and the best way to go about it is to start to empower the next generation, to equip them to be able to profile indigenous solution for our indigenous problem. So at this point, I want to thank everybody for participating in this engagement, our special guests, our keynote speakers, also students, graduate from cohort project 1. And I want to let you know that the cohort for the cohort 2 project will commence next month, and the registration is on. It's going to end next month. So this is opportunity for all, for you, for everybody that wants to create a niche in data protection or data privacy or cybersecurity to take advantage of this. Thank you so much for being with us at this point. I don't know, I want to hand over to Stanley. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. So we have come to the end of our webinar. I'll be handing over to the Scratch and Script team to bring this to an end. But before we do that, we're going to be having a group photo, or we're going to call it a virtual photo. So I'm going to be requiring everyone to turn on their camera. So we just have a shot by the tech team here. So please, everyone, could you just turn on your camera? So Rose, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Stanley. As we do the group photo, I have shared a link on the chat section. It is a link inviting you guys to register for the Ignite Cohort 2. We have also added more tracks to the Ignite Cohort 2. We have digital forensics and AI, in addition to cybersecurity and data protection. Feel free to copy the link, share with the people from your end. Share with your friends, your colleagues, and also other members from the ISACA chapter that they may also onboard our Ignite Cohort 2. Otherwise, it's a wrap also from us at Scratch and Script. Thank you for making time to join us to listen to the presentations. Thank you to all the presenters, the Data Commissioner for Zambia, Deputy Data Commissioner for Kenya. We appreciate all of you for making time to join us. And also, we hope that you'll stand with Kenya even in this season. I don't know, over to you, Stanley. Have you finished on the group photo? Or
No, thank you so much. Tech team, are we done? Okay, so they are still on it. So for those in Nigeria, you can also register for the Scratch and Script Cohort 2. The link which you used to register for this meeting has been reset, so you can just click on the link and you'll be able to register for the Cohort 2. And so Can we all say data protection?
Data protection.
Data protection.
Please, everyone, you can unmute your mic. You can unmute your mic now. This is the time which we want to hear your voices from everywhere you're joining us in the world.
Data protection.
Data
Protection.
Data protection.
Data protection.
Data protection.
Data protection.
Data protection.
Okay, so it's a wrap from my end. Thank you so much for joining us for the Scratch and Script Project Launch 1.0. We hope to see you next year, same month, but not same time, sure, for the Project Launch 2.0. Do have a lovely day ahead, and goodbye, everyone.
Thank
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Good one. Good one. Next one.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I can see Mr. Jerry on the call. Mr. Jerry from ISACA Abuja. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you, Stanley. That was a good one.
Thank you so much,
Thanks
sir.
to all the organizers. Great job.
Mrs. Onyida Lights, thank you for joining us. Mr. Gimber, thank you for joining us. Mr. Tuxio, thank you for joining us. Mr. Anas Jonathan, thank you for joining us. And we continue online. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.